After that year, I went to Africa on a safari. 6 of us organized a safari. We rented a van, drove around the country, looked at everything. We went all over Nairobi. I can't remember the name of this beach town that we went to. Anyway, we sat in the bar, we were having a couple of beers, and there was 2 girls that were sitting maybe where you are from my distance, and they were talking about the upstart Edmonton Oilers that had just beat the Montreal Canadiens. And this was in the middle of Africa. 2 girls, Canadian girls, and we're talking about the Edmonton Oilers, which was outstanding as far as I was concerned.
We had actually all come to a Billy Joel concert here the night before, the night of the last game of the regular season, the last games that we were being played. And nobody knew who we were going to be playing. And we came down to the dressing room, and Glenn Saylor said, "All right, we know who we're playing. It's the Montreal Canadiens." It was like letting the air out of the balloon. And everybody was like, "Oh, no." Because they had won the Stanley Cup like 4 years in a row. And we thought we had I think we all thought we had no chance.
It again right over for the completion. They score! And there's the 4th goal. The Oilers, led by Gretzky's 5 assists. They handle Montreal in convincing fashion.
And it wasn't just that the Oilers squeaked out victories over the Habs. They flat out beat them. But you could see that they were on the precipice of something special. And that was, I think, for most guys that were fortunate enough to have been around at that time, that was the first time you realized this could be a very special group for a very long time.
The city was just going absolutely berserk. There wasn't anybody in hockey gave the Oilers any chance whatsoever of beating the fabled Montreal Canadiens.
I wanted to do something that Montreal wasn't quite ready for. So I brought Andy Moog up, started him, and he was great.
The playoffs, a great thrill for you, different atmosphere. Did you ever think you'd see this one?
It's so exciting, I can't believe it. I was preparing all season long for the Central League playoffs, and here I am in the National League. I just prepared all I could. I knew I was facing some of the best shooters in the hockey, and it paid off. I was prepared and it worked tonight.
Clinching game against Montreal in the '81 playoffs was probably the most significant for me in terms of this building. That Montreal series, that was really the first time the stadium and the city said, "Oh, we might have a goalie here. This guy might be able to get the job done," and they embraced me. I felt like the stadium was behind me.
Now the crescendo, little Andy Moog has gone into the net.
One memory that really sticks out for me is came back here for Game 3, and I'll never forget the fans. We could hear that we never could hear them in the dressing room previously. The building was so loud, and the stomping on the metal stands. We could hear it in the dressing room.
Here they come. The standing. Andy Moog, Gretzky, Messier, Hicks, Hunter, and we let the crowd take over.
Exhilarating. It was so spine-tingling, and whatever other descriptive you want to use.
Watching the game with my dad and I remember asking my dad, it's only the first round, like, why is everyone so excited? And he put it to me on terms I can understand. He's like, you don't understand, these people they basically beat the Yankees. And that was the thought process, is the Canadiens were the all-time dynasty.
It was a series, I don't think a lot of players, and it's like what Dave Lumley says, that you'll never forget a series like that, ever. No.
It was hard to believe. Even though I was part of it and witnessed the whole thing, this was the famous Montreal Canadiens, and not only were we beating them in the series, but we swept them.
And that was sort of the jump start to that whole feeling of self-confidence for the Oilers at that time. Not only for the city, but for the players. It proved to themselves that they just beat the Montreal Canadiens.
For us, it was an opportunity to make a name for ourselves. No way did we ever think that we're going to beat Montreal in 3 games, but magic happened that series, and we found ourselves on the winning end.
But they have been an outstanding hockey team.
And I think if we we ever look back on anything at the start of our careers and the start of the young Edmonton Oilers and an NHL franchise, that would be one time in our history that we could look back and say, wow, that was a defining moment for us.
Through everything that would come later, I don't think I ever saw that team happier or more excited than when they beat the Montreal Canadiens in that first series. That was a huge stepping stone for the team and the organization, and it was just the beginning of a very good time for hockey in our city.